Hi, welcome to Ocean Yemi's channel. So today I'm going to give my review, give my thinking and thoughts and review on the on Champions. I think that, hold on, let me make sure. I think they're called The Champions or Champions. Champions. It's a BBC One. Uh, what's it call it? Little mini series, and it involved a family called the Champions. You see the ups and downs of the family. You see the father figures. You see the talent. You see family secrets. You see greed. You see a whole heap of things in this BBC drama. Now, the reason why I decided to talk about Champions is because when I watched it, I saw a lot of family stuff which involved West Indian families. Not only that, the cast was really good. The cast was good. However, I just found out that one of the cast members used to be in Top Boy, but I didn't know that. Um, on while watching it, I realized that um our sons go through a lot of stuff mentally, physically. Some going in and out of prison because this in this show it shows a lot of that. Not only does it show the talents, it shows how hard how parents use their children to make a dime off their head, and instead of it going to the children, like the father in this program, he was taking the children's money, right? So in the beginning of the first episode, you see the father telling off the son, give him a slap, and then turns to the sister and says, "Right, you gotta take care of your brother." But that the little sister continuously takes care of the brother. She writes his lyrics. She's his shoulder to cry on. She's there for him at every win. And the boy is called Basco. The daughter's called Vita. Now the mum in the show is in a whole new relationship with a guy called Lennox, and Lennox really loves the mother. He loves the mother. He shows his love in so many different ways, like when, like, for example, in the show, because she runs a West Indian restaurant, she needed a new cooker. Obviously, she asked the ex, obviously, but then who comes out with the goods? Lennox comes with the whole, like, a second-hand cooker. He sells his vinyls, which every West Indian man who have vinyls, who's collector of music and stuff, he sells all of his vinyls, and he goes and gets her a cooker, and he also tries to propose to her as well. And it's just like, wow. But then later on, right, when she keeps not giving him the answer, the yes answer, etc., Lennox literally have a break from her because she decides to go to Jamaica with the ex because the ex has had a bereavement. Now, I'm not even saying half of what goes on in this program because I feel I don't want to give it all away. I mean, even when you read the reviews, I think they give quite a bit away. But some of it, some of the show, the show, the clothes, the romance, the breakups, the battles, the trials, everything. Now, yeah, I would say the reason why I say this is a typical West Indian, Caribbean, whatever you want to say, situation, because the dad has secrets. The dad has secrets. He's a whole Gallus walking, right? He's a whole womanizer, and he when they go to Jamaica. the daughter finds out secrets. She even finds out that she has a brother which she never knew she had, thinking that the brother was the uncle. And because the brother was being looked after by the grandfather, right, he gets left the land, he gets left the house and everything else. But then the dad's never happy. He's never happy because like he wants to embezzle, like take from the children, take the royalties, right? You know, because Basco didn't come through. He tries to lean on Vita, but then Vita goes and flies by herself. Somehow she gets through it. She is really the one who really goes through a lot. And at one point, right, I think, right, they even said that you are just like your brother, right? When certain things is happening, right, is Vita they all call on. Then you also see how strings is pulled, because alongside all these drill artists, right, you don't know who's in behind the scenes. When you're thinking it's a black producer that's behind the scenes that's pushing them, it's not a black producer that's behind the scenes pushing them. And it shows that even when like when they don't come true, right, the father kind of sells his son for a coin, where like he puts him to do a Tory guy's daughter's party, and then he gets knocked down, and then because he's breaking down, the dad tells him to stop crying, stand up, be a man. But then the manager that is there, who's helping him, she tells him he can't be doing it, like, you know. And then she in hand goes and lets Basco know what's going on, but Basco is so trying to please his dad, trying to be everything else and everything else, trying to be on the on like street drill rapper. You know, he's just got so much on his head. So being who he is and whatever he is, because the dad wants to carry a legacy of champions to come true. It's similar to the Bob Marley thing, really, where he's like how the Bob Marley, like the Marley's children has to carry on the legacy. It's kind of like that. That's what he's trying to achieve at the end of the day, but at a cost of his children. Yeah. And let me see, I'm gonna play the article as well so you can hear. Let me play it.
Why BBC One's Champion will be a huge cultural moment. Published by BBC. BBC drama Champion, about two siblings fighting to get ahead in the music industry, is a celebration of Black British music culture, according to the show's writer Candice Carty-Williams and star Ray Block. When best-selling author Candice Carty-Williams was making her first TV drama, there was one thing in particular she worried about perfecting: the music. I've had sleepless nights over it, as you can tell, hence the tears, the novelist says in an emotional behind-the-scenes moment on set during the filming of Champion. But it's all paid off. Every single track has paid off. The BBC One drama Champion, filmed in Birmingham and set in South London, tells the story of two musically talented siblings, Bosco, played by Malcolm Camouliet, from UK crime drama Top Boy, and Vita, Deja J. Bowens. The brother and sister, from the Champion family, are both striving for success in the hyper-competitive UK music industry. But as the pressure to succeed mounts, both end up at war with each other, tearing the family apart. The series features classic British music, from So Solid Crew's 21 Seconds to Overload by Sugababes, and original songs by UK artists including grime rapper Ghetts and BBC Sound of winner Ray Block. Candice previously wrote the novel Queenie, about the life of fictional 25-year-old Jamaican British woman Queenie Jenkins. When it came to the TV series Champion, Candice says she spent more time working with songwriters and producers developing the music than scripting the scenes and the dialogue. I have incredibly high musical standards, and my thing at the beginning of all of this was, the music just has to be worth it, she says. The music has to be the thing that lifts this whole show. Singer-songwriter Ray Block, who is also making her acting debut as Vita's best friend Honey, says, when I watched the episodes back, I felt, oh, this is going to be a huge cultural moment. One of the songs Ray Block wrote for the series, My Girl, was released as a single on the 30th of June. The track, described as both neo-soul and R&B, is one of her favorites from Champion, she says, because it's just about female friendship. Although she wrote My Girl for Champion characters Vita and Honey, Ray Block is especially excited about her real-life best friend Abigail hearing it for the first time because the song is basically about her and about our friendship, she says. I told her about it and she was already getting emotional, so I know she's going to weep when she hears it. Making waves. For both Candice and Ray Block, it was important for Champion to be a celebration of the diversity of Black British music culture, from grime to R&B to soul to reggae, and the series includes more original music from musicians Debbie and Shola Ama. I want people to understand that our culture is so expansive and so wide-ranging, Candice says. We are three-dimensional and we contain multitudes. And in terms of the novelty of showing grime music to a mainstream BBC One audience, Candice says, I always want to do something no one's done before. Ray Block adds that everything in Champion is very British, adding that the Champions are a perfect depiction of a Caribbean British family. Caribbean culture is a big part of British culture now, so I love that we get to see that. Champion is on BBC One and BBC iPlayer from on Saturday the 1st of July at 9:15 p.m. And Ray Block believes that Black British music culture deserves more recognition, both for its cultural influence and its financial impact. Black music needs to be acknowledged as mainstream, she says. I hope this show will help people to see how vital it is. Black British music is not a fad, it's here to stay and it's making waves globally. In 2023, Black British artists Dave, Pink Pantheress, Stormzy and more have scored top 10 hits. And Ray Block, who says women still need more support within the UK music industry, adds that it's an honor for Champion to continue the legacy of earlier Black British music on TV, from Channel U to MTV Base. I hope that 10, 15 years from now the next generation are going to be like, do you remember Champion? Do you remember the music from that? Love is the undercurrent. The mental health toll that extreme competition and industry pressure puts on musicians is one of the many themes explored in Champion. In the first episode of the series, we see rapper Bosco hyperventilating and having a panic attack in his dressing room before having to go on stage to perform. Describing the pressure that young artists face to succeed, Ray Block says, I'm pretty sure 99% of artists, if not all, feel anxious. I'm glad Champion shows what happens behind the scenes. That really is what it's like. Moments like that really do happen. Everyone's just waiting for their moment, and so when you feel like it's slipped, it can really destroy you. In Champion, Ray BLK's witty and passionate character Honey is LGBTQ, something she also thinks is important to highlight. I feel in society unfortunately those things are still sort of taboo, but I'd say particularly in the Black community there's still a long way to go with changing that. And I feel shows like Champion will do that. And for Candice, one fundamental theme she wanted to add through Champion's story is love. It's about a family, centrally, she says, about a brother and sister and their love for each other. Even if you're not always getting on and there is drama and there is tension and there is pain, love is always the undercurrent of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that in a nutshell is what the show is about, really. It's what the show is about. There's another one I wanted to see. I mean, because let me see. They talk about the grime side of it. Let me see. Yeah, talk about the grime side of it. No, that's what Candice looked like. Okay. I think she was one of the characters in it. Yeah, so it was a good show, you know? It's a good show. It shows a whole lot of elements to Caribbean life. It shows the secrets of what I'm gonna do. Let me see The Secrets. Right, The Secrets in Black families is normally that the father's got children hidden that the children doesn't know about, and that's one of the things that I picked up on the show, where he made a child and said that how it was the cousin, no, the brother, the uncle. Let me see. I don't think they're gonna show it on. I don't think they're gonna explain it on here. No, they're not gonna explain it on here. They're not gonna explain it on here. So what I'm gonna do. Let me see what else I could pick up. Because I don't think I can show it being it's the BBC, which is a shame. There's so many good parts to it. The good part is when Vita finally gets her break and she finally is able to sing and do what she's got to do, and she does it. Her and Basco meet on the stage. That is a good scene from that show. And where Vita, her and her best friend is in the room, and they're singing together. I think that was really good part of it as well. Trying to find all the best parts that I can bring forward. I think he's just saying the same thing. I think he's saying the same thing. I think they're all saying more or less the same thing. But anyway, yeah, it is a good show to watch, I would say. Okay, let me play this one.
Writer Candice Carty-Williams and the cast of Champion reveal all about the new music drama set in South London. Published by BBC. A love letter to Black British music set in South London. Champion is a celebration of a sound that has long been the beating heart of our culture. Champion is the first TV project from Candice Carty-Williams, author of the Sunday Times best-selling novels Queenie and People Person. Rap sensation Bosco Champion is home from prison and ready to dominate the music industry once more. But when his dutiful younger sister Vita's own talent is discovered by Bosco's rival, she steps out of her brother's shadow to become a performer in her own right, setting the Champion siblings against one another and tearing apart the whole family in the process. A love letter to Black British music set in South London. Champion is a celebration of a sound that has long been the beating heart of our culture. Featuring original music written and produced by some of the leading musicians this country has to offer, including Ray Block, Getz, and more. Sibling rivalry never sounded so epic. SH2. Key cast: Vita, Deja J. Bowens. Bosco, Malcolm Kamulit. Aria, Nadine Marshall. Barris, Ray Firon. Honey, Ray Block. Mamet, Karam Hassan. Chantel, Adiyinka Akinrenade. Mark, Tom Forbes. Teo, Genesis Linnea. Don, Joe Martin. Milan, Olivia Rose Colliard. Lennox, Carl Collins. Yemi, Rachel Adedeji. Rusty, Kieran Hamilton Amos. Bulla, Corey Weeks. Laurent, Francis Lovehall. Amber, Grace Farrell. Jade, Priscilla Fagbemi. Philip, Fergus Reese. Creatives: Candice Carty-Williams, writer, episodes 1, 2, 5 and 7, and executive producer. Brian Elsley, executive producer. Charlie Pattinson, executive producer. Dave Evans, executive producer. Willow Grills, executive producer. Imogen O'Sullivan, executive producer. Danielle Scott Houghton, executive producer and producer, episodes 7 and 8. Isis Davis, writer, episode 3. Edom Warnu, writer, episode 4. Emma Dennis Edwards, writer, episode 5. Amayer Brown, writer, episode 6 and 7. Joy Garoro Apohotor, producer, eps 1 to 5. Charles Bates, producer, episode 6. John Ogunmuyiwa, director, episodes 1 to 3. Adaimi Michael, director, episodes 4 to 5. Caleb Femi, director, episode 6. Christiana Ebohan Green, director, episodes 7 and 8. Ray Block, music executive. Justin Clark aka Getz, music executive. Catherine Greaves, music supervisor. Hattie Collins, music, hair and makeup designer. Music industry too from back in the day, as we find out as the show goes on. Everyone in this family is so invested in music. When Bosco comes back from prison, the world has changed, and the world of music has changed, so what should he do? Vida has been behind the scenes keeping everything going, ready for him to come back. She wants to step up to be his manager now, but Bosco wants her to just keep doing what she's been doing. Bosco also has a rival, a drill rapper called Bulla. Vida and her friend Honey sing with Bulla and he recognizes Vida's talent, and the show unravels from there. What are the main conflicts in the series? Bosco and Vida, obviously, but also their parents Arya and Barris Champion. They're divorced, but Barris is still very much inserting himself into the lives of these people. There is Barris and Lennox, Arya's new partner, Bosco and Bulla, a musical rivalry. Honey and Vida are best friends who've been singing together since they were kids, but Vida makes some choices with their music that Honey isn't very happy about. We have so much conflict in every episode. When we were doing the writer's room, there was one point in the final week where I said we needed to keep a score system. That was the way I made sure every character had their fights and everyone had their wins and their losses. What makes this show and the music so special? I think this show is special in its own right, but the music is very close to me. I'm obsessed with music and I always have to listen to something. What got me into this show was the prospect of being able to make music. I'm not a producer, but I know the producers and artists that I love. We've brought some of those people together to make an amazing soundtrack. Drill, rap, R&B, soul, neo-soul, reggae. We have so many things covered. That in itself was a challenge. The music team is quite small. Me, a music supervisor called Kat Greaves, music consultant Hattie Collins, and Getz. He joined as a music exec and writes all of Bosco's raps working with his own producers. We have Ray Block in the show as Honey, but also a songwriter and music exec for the show, and some amazing music written by Debbie, plus Shola Ama, all of my musical dreams. What are the themes of the show? When I watch most TV shows, especially concerning young people, I'm always thinking, where's the family? Where did they come from? I think where we come from says so much about us. Even if your parents aren't necessarily around, they still make you. What does that absence do to you? When we were making the show, I immediately understood that it'd be a family drama. Everyone in that family, Barris, Arya, Bosco and Vida, all have a place, a function and a role, even though the family is fragmented and fragments further throughout the show. Everyone has to come from somewhere. I love family drama, writing about and observing families. My family in itself is very fractured, but I'm always interested in that rather than being sad about it, because I can see why it can happen. I can see why when people don't talk to each other, you can have massive rifts that last lifetimes sometimes. Putting that into my work is really important because family is so foundational. Tell us about the link between the music and the drama? I didn't want it to be a musical in that someone breaks into song. I wanted you to see people making songs in their own right. While the song might not adhere to the situation at hand, when we were briefing the songs, we'd give the context of the storyline. Debbie wrote a song for Vida called My Ones. It's about hating everyone because they're taking advantage of you. It doesn't necessarily name characters, but I wanted that feeling in the song, and she did such an amazing job. My job overall was to create a sonic world and decide if everything fits. With Getz, for example, sometimes we'd give him the brief or sometimes he'd send a song as a suggestion. When Getz sent a freestyle, we rewrote an episode to have Vida helping Bosco write it. then Bosco recording it in the studio in a later scene. You have to be very agile. It all works because I'm quite good at remembering the place of everything, where things should work and go. I think it's because I write novels. You have to know where everything is in a story. I'm good at doing the jigsaw of what is going to work with what. What are your favorite songs in Champion? My first.
Yeah, there's so much that she's explaining there. I might put the article onto the video. Yeah, the father that they're talking about, the one who inserts himself into relationship, is there is some relationships that's like that. Some men who's not with the mother of his children, but he still wants to have a say in everything. He still wants to be that man. He still wants to, like, get all the benefits that goes with it, even though the woman's moved on. There is a scene where the mother's vulnerable for about a minute, and because she's gone to Jamaica with the ex, he makes a move on her, and luckily she doesn't go through with it. But when she finds out the secret about Junior, who is the brother in Jamaica, that's when she packs her stuff and leave. And then I think the aunt of the ex comes in and says to her, but at least he takes, I can't remember the words for verbatim, but it's like pointing a finger at her, saying like, oh, it's because of you, certain. So then the mum turns around to the auntie and says, it's women like you, why there's men like him who does the things he does. And I was like, yeah, that is right on the button. That's probably how it goes down in most West Indian houses, where the aunt would say, oh, well, at least like he looked hard, he was there for his children or something like that. But because of how the secret dropped after the funeral, because the ex he was hoping to get the money from the will. Sorry, there's loads of spoilers. He was hoping to get money from the will after they came from the funeral. So they sat around the table because it's like a family meeting. So the one who is supposed to be the uncle, he sat round the table, and so the guy goes, well, let's get down to the will. Let's get down to the will. So the young guy called Junior turns to him and says, everything that is here is what Pups give me. Like, that's the one who raised him, because he said, you was never there for me. You was never there when I was growing up. You was never there, right? You left me here. I had to look after myself, and the granddad took him on and was looking after him. So the ex thought that he can benefit from that situation. When he saw he can benefit from that situation, then he decided, because what he was doing, he like I said, he was making money off of Bosco. So every time Bosco put out music or anything, right, he will get the benefits of it. Because when I first saw the house, I'm like, wow, look at the house. The house is nice, really beautiful house, right? Because when Vita goes to stay with the dad, you see his side, and you see how he's living. He's living more better than his children is living. And I believe he was a big absent father in their lives for a very long time, and he was very much a controller, and he thought that how he can be part still in the life and still whatever he's doing. And there is men like this, because I think I had a kind of not that kind of situation, but there is men who will try to control, even if though you have moved on, they still will try to be part of the life, still be in your life, because in their mind you are still theirs, but in fact you're not. By this time you've moved on. So it's a situation like that. Then when he went to the restaurant to see her, and he says, "Oh, you still look good, you know." And I said, "Damn." I said, "You see now, that's how easy it is." Like, because if the woman wasn't strong, she probably would have fallen for it again. She probably would fall for his charm, fall for his lies, fall for whatever. But Lennox, the stepfather, because there's some stepfathers who's not really great stepfathers. Lennox in this show was a great stepfather. Why I say that? Because even at the end, he calls them his son and daughter, and he's the one cheering Vita and Basco on when they go on the stage with the mother. He's the one holding the mother's hand. The mother also had a history of music as well, because she was part of a musical something. Because as you watch, when she's coming for Vita now to say to Vita, "You need to go and get your brother." And the lady turns to her, which is Yemi, turns to her and says, she calls her by her stage name, and she says, "Then because you didn't have your break, it doesn't mean to say Vita shouldn't have her break." And I thought, wow, right there. Because Vita was always there for her brother. Like they said in the articles, Vita was there for her sibling. She was living in his shadows for so long. So when at first, though she's coming out of the shadow, she's always like still in his shadow. And then when she finally do come out of the shadows, and she do sing and she do certain stuff, to even when the music gets taken from her, she has to go and she makes new lyrics, new music and stuff. And you see how talented Vita really is, and how she does the show and everything else, and you're just like, wow. But like I said, it's a good little show to watch. At first, I wasn't feeling it at first at the beginning. I was like, wow, oh man, a typical blinking drill show. Because my young one told me about it. I thought, oh, it's going to be another typical drill show. Same old violence. You know, I thought, oh my God, it's going to be like Top Boy or something like that. Anyway, as I watched, I think, as it got to more and more apparent to me that the family, who was the problem? Who was the problem in all of their lives? And I was like, wow, that guy was the problem. Basco was trying to please his father 100%. Even when the mum was saying, "Well, your dad this," he goes, "No, but dad ain't like that." Now, can you imagine how many mothers say, "Well, your dad," and the son say, "No, well, dad's not like that." Now, I was like, wow. I was like, I think even I've heard that from my own son, right? Where like you're there for your children, you're trying to keep them, trying to keep everybody balanced. I mean, even as mothers, right, we make mistakes. I mean, like you take up for the son all the time, and then the daughter's trying to say, well, mum, look, ABC, and then you're like, no, my son ain't like that. But then later on you find out your son is like that, and then you yourself, it's like, damn. So there is many elements I think a lot of people can relate to what is going on the screen, even though it's in a music form, with music, because most of these children, what they do, they make music because that's how they express themselves, that's how they express what is going on with them. That's how they express what is going on at the time. That's how they feel. Because I'm not in a drill. I'm not into drill music at all. I mean, maybe when Stormzy made couple music, I did like his music like that. But it's good to see that there's another side to the coin, because I ain't blaming it on the music. No, man, I'm not blaming it on the music. I just don't feel the drill music, right? Because I know that's their form of their outlet for some of them. That's a form of outlet. Even when you see them performing on the street, that's their form of outlet. I think there's a lot of things against the children. Sometimes, like, they got a lot to prove, especially the boys and the girls as well. I think the boys more, they have a lot to prove. They have a lot to prove. They have to try and please the daddy, because well, sons. I think sons is the father figure thing. I feel, and that's what Bosco was trying to do. He's trying to please his dad so much. He's trying to please his dad so much. Even when he disappears for about a while, he disappears, and the dad is so callous. Um, the dad never sat and talked with him. Like, maybe Lennox talked to him face to face, have a man on man, because some boys need to have that man to man chat, right? I mean, like, the mum, they can talk to their mums, but it's not, sometimes it's not the same. When they talk to their dads, it's something else. Boys always want to prove stuff to their dads, no matter what. Like, no matter what. Even if the mum says, well, your dad was like this, they would never believe it unless they actually go through it with the dad. And that's what Basco went through. Basco went through it, because now, hopefully, if they do a season 2, the producer got him sectioned, right? And saying, oh, he's mad and this and that and the other, because the dad didn't get his way. Yeah, half of them ain't got dads. Exactly. Half of them ain't got dads, and then they look for dads on the street. Yeah, it's a whole conundrum. I mean, I find it, yeah, it is so sad, but it's sad. It's sad, especially if they're not raised from, if their parents ain't about the street life. I think that's when it's the biggest kicker, you know. Like when I hear about Levi thingy, who got unalived by the lady who drove her son to unalive Levi. And I was thinking, damn, like, what I mean, there's situations like that. And I'm just like, some parents don't understand the street life. I literally had to go and research a lot of stuff at one point. It's quite educational, I mean, I feel like, as an older one, right? Sometimes you have to know little bits, like why things happen. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. She was. She was horrible. She was absolutely horrible. I was supposed to go find out information about her. The one who helped her dad, the son, to go and do what he did. But I know some stories that these boys, some of the times the boys, I feel from what I've seen as well, it's like the boys have a lot to prove, like, because they become the man of the house. And when the dad is not present, they like become the man of the house. They like get caught up in so much stuff, and Basco was in a lot of stuff. Not only that, when he returned to prison, I think the second time or the third time, he comes out a bit disturbed, comes out all jumpy. Even when he's taking shower, he does certain stuff in the shower. Like, he must have been getting beaten up in there and all sorts of stuff. And Basco, I think that scene where Basco drops in the shower, or he wakes out of bed and he's on his hands and knees and he's got his hands behind his head, having like flashbacks and everything. I said, wow, that's a powerful scene. Not only that, cause of devices, people kept filming him all the time. Every time he'll do something, he was being filmed, like on IG and all sorts. And when he wasn't doing certain particular stuff, his peers would just belittle him. And I was like, damn. Hi, native. I was like, damn. I said to myself, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. I feel that I'm not saying as a people. I mean, when you're a parent, it's just one of the scariest things. I think the second scary thing is finding out when your child is not, it's unalive. I think that's another scary thing. I think that's every parent's nightmare to know that your child is not on earth. And, you know, a lot of people send their children to the West Indies out of this place, out of England and America, and it's just like, if I mean, like, if you get a good grandparent, auntie who takes care of that child, like Junior was very much looked after. He had the music in him. He's rapping in Jamaica as well. So he was definitely a champion. I can see there's a link to it. And I feel what's more powerful in that program, it just shows you the dysfunction of families, because people don't talk about the dysfunctions of families. They talk about the niceties of families. There's a lot of dysfunction in families. Some people try to change the dysfunctions of that family because, especially in West Indian, Caribbean families, it's like it's never together. If the mother ain't got it together, the children ain't got it together. Then it's like the dad is the superhero, the one who's absent. He turns into that superhero. You, the mum's been there for how long, seeing your child go through all sorts of stuff. Then the dad turns up and he's the superhero. And I think, once again, I'm going to refer to the show because, like I said, this is about the show. Basco looked up to his father like he was a superhero, but the dad was really the parasite of the family because he was sucking the life out of Basco. Why I changed? Huh? Is that why you changed your name? No, 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 no. I haven't. No, there's different reason why my name's like this. But anyways, Basco is one of those ones that because you think they're unstable. No, it's not because of that. It's not because of that. Families, there is good families and there's bad families, right? In every walk of life. This program shows an example of there's dysfunctional families, there's secret dysfunctional families, there's families that is not all together. There's families that looks like they've got it together, but they ain't got it together. Right? Basco's dad, and I keep saying his name. You know why I keep saying his name? Because he's the son in all of this. He's the link in all of this, right? Because he's trying to please his dad so much. He's trying to please him so much. He's writing lyrics, he's doing music, he's turning up at places to gigs, and the dad's just feeding off of him. Like, and you're just like, damn. But like I said, there's dysfunction in most families is dysfunctional. Maybe some might be okay, who knows. When I see families that is all together, when you see them all on screen together and it's happy and nice, and you just have to hope there's like sometimes there is a secret behind all that, sometimes there's nothing. So I mean, you have to look at it both ways. But yeah, it's just sad. It's just, it's sad that how children's got to go through them lengths when they get into the criminal system because maybe their fathers were in the criminal system, so they feel like they got to get into the criminal system so they can be looked like the same level as the dad. And I feel that's pertaining to the boys mostly, because there's a lot of boys that I know either been in, come out of them places, And it's like, you know, they have a lot to prove. Boys have a lot to prove, you know what I mean? They got to prove their the manliness. They got to prove I got this, I got it all together. You know, sometimes they haven't got it all together, but they think they got it all together, but they haven't. And you know, there are many shows that show this. I mean, Top Boy, I hate Top Boy. I ain't gonna lie. I hate Top Boy. I hate Top Boy. Um, there's another one. Yeah, I think it's just Top Boy the most, and there's another one as well. Top Boy do not show the best of West Indian life. It shows the lower side of that life. Like what you see on screen. Normally you will never see them boys like out in the open like that. Never. Never ever. You'll never see them like that. Even on a school day. So maybe this video is gonna turn into a two-way thing. Even you will never see them boys like that. You'll never see them out like that. Right? You'll probably see something, but you won't see like sometimes it's so quick you don't even notice. They will probably hang out at certain places, West Indian restaurants, but they're there, but you don't really see them like that. So Top Boy, when Ashley Walters said that how he had to pay off some gang or dealers so he can do the movie, right? I say I passed through a lot of places. There's a lot of places, Brixton being one of them, right? Which is the most talked about place on a Brixton, Ladbroke Grove, Shepherd's Bush. In Top Boy, when you see them standing outside and you see the people coming for the drugs like that, you don't see that. I've been around that same area there where they were standing in Shepherd's Bush. You'll never see that. You'll never see that. So I feel that some depictions of, I mean, I know you lot hate the word black, I know you lot hate it, but it's not like that. There are some happy moments. These are not shown in the movies. Some of these are not shown in the movies. Though there are sad moments, there's happy moments. And then there's really, really, really sad moments when the grandparent, the great grandparent passes and all the families around. You know, there's some good moments, right? But together with the bad moments, but there's some real good moments. The marriages, the babies coming. These are not depicted in certain stuff because, and that's how you can tell who's writing the script. That's how you can tell who's behind that script because it comes more like a stereotype. It doesn't come real no more. Now, some families, Caribbean families, yes, there is a struggle in certain stuff, right? There is a struggle. People don't talk to people. It's normal. Then things happen. You know what I mean? It's straightforward. Agreed, boys will act like their fathers. Yeah, they will. They will. Because they have a lot to prove to the dad. A lot to prove to the dad. That's why when I saw that video of that boy getting robbed with the phone, straight away, I thought about my son, right? I thought about my son right away. I said, flipping hell, the bus driver didn't even close the door to save the boy. That could have been a whole different situation. That could have been a whole different situation. Maybe he just got beaten up on the phone, robbed. Yes. But even that, it still ain't good. Right? It could be another moaning mum again, because it's like they're normalizing people getting unalived or something sometimes. Like they want to make you immune to it. Like you become so immune to it. You see it so many times. It's like the PTSD word comes out around. You see it so much times. It's like you are literally rocked by what you see. Me as a mother, I get rocked by what I see. When I see a woman getting beaten up by a man, even that could be maybe a kid from childhood. The other day I spoke about a man getting rejected in another country. That could be brought up from childhood, seeing his dad not being able to handle rejection. There's all sorts. All families have their ups and downs, and each family has their meatball thinking family members. You can pick our family, but not family. Yeah, exactly. And the sad thing about it is, right? Because, and this is why I don't like to talk. I don't like the divide and rule thing, like you, us and them, because we all going through the same craziness. We are all going through it. Some people, even across the pond, across as Americans say, across the pond, right? There's dysfunctional families in every single form or fashion. My Jazzy life. She comes from a dysfunctional family. She's playing it on screen, on YouTube, like it's normal. She comes from a dysfunctional family herself. So, in all, like I said, the reasons why I decided to talk about champions because there's so many bits to it. There's so many sides to it. The dad just want to take from his children. He don't want to. He don't want to. Right? It's like he just had the children so he can take from the children. Though the mum's moved on, he still want to insert himself into the mum's relationship. Right? And I know sometimes, most cases, when the mum leaves the father, sometimes the relationship is fine. Both men can get on together. Why? Because they do it for the children. And and the ex-man's like, okay, she's moved on. Sometimes it's agreeable like that. Sometimes it's just a co-parenting thing. That's it. But in this case, he was the parasite in all of this. He was the parasite. The dad was the parasite in all of this. He's the one who's now sectioned his son. For what? When you put your child in mental health, right? Especially if they're okay, by the time they get injected and all sorts of stuff happen to them in that place, because you don't know what place they're going to go to, right? You don't know how they're going to come out when they come out. Some of them come out, their body change, they hear it right, they start hearing more voices than normal, they get diagnosed wrong. He sectioned him. And I was like, wow. I was actually not shouting at the screen, but I was like, damn, like this man, he was just all about himself. I mean, people talk about narcissist men. That on screen was a narcissistic man. And the guy who plays him is a good actor. He's always the one who's always the bad guy in all the when he comes onto a black production, he's always the bad guy in some form or fashion. And it's just sad. But like I said, everybody has and Native said it too. There's good and bad in most families. There's good and bad, but some families they are really connected together, and you can see the love where they're connected together. They're very so connected, right? Like for example, my friend, she's so connected to she was so connected to her daughter. Is It's like that connection. Like she will phone her every day. She'll check on her. She have her grandchildren. She was so there. Now she's met somebody now. He's there, like with the children and stuff like that. Yeah, I avoid them bad vibe brothers who do not think before action. Yes, those people you have to avoid them. Sometimes, right, it's telling when you don't see them with their sons, them good fathers, when you don't see them with their sons and they're not doing nothing with their sons, that speaks volume about them. Because that means that how they're not family men. Like on one side they're family men, and on the flip side they're not. I think it's the same for the women too, I suppose, because I don't know. I haven't met a woman who's run off and left their children. I have never met that yet, but I've heard of it. So, but I've met the men who sometimes not be in their children's life and they pretend and they're not like it's a whole nother scenario. But the boys need their dads, they need their moms, but they need their dads too. And like I mean, unless it's a domestic situation, that's when I say, okay, stay away from that. But if it's not a domestic situation, then yeah, I mean, like you gotta try and learn to co-parent. You gotta try work with the parent as much as possible. But like I said, if you do have BBC iPlayer, I don't know whether they have it in America. Please look at Champions. There is a lot of music in it, a lot of drill music in it, because you know over here it's drill music. I'm not into the drill music, so I ain't gonna pretend like I am. Right? But there is some good parts to it. There's some good parts to it as well. And there were some real bad moments, and then like, you know, I almost feel for the characters, I can say. Like Vita's like how my daughter is. She's all for her family. She was like, she's the one that everybody calls on. Vita, you must be there for your brother. I said, damn. I said, damn, like, yeah. Like, there's certain stuff that goes on in there, you just think, wow. You know, because sometimes, right, you put stuff on your children, you don't even realize that you're doing it. And then you see it on screen and you're just thinking, oh, God, jeez. So, yeah, but yeah. So, you know, but I just like to show that part. I mean, I put most of the articles so you can listen onto the live. I mean, you can shoot past it and get to me talking about what exactly is in between it all, because they're just looking at the music side, the Stormzy, the threshold of how the musicians, how anxious they are, and all that stuff. I even was listening to a lady play music with spoons, and that was cool. Yeah, yeah. There's people right now. There's this new phenomenon of people playing violin music to hits, to songs, and it's not like, I ain't gonna lie. It is when you listen to the music in violin form. It's so different. It's so calming. It's not so, maybe it's like they call frequency or the vibe or whatever, but there is something in there. There are so many talented people in the world. There's so many talented people in the world. Singers, songwriters, script writers, you name it, musicians, families singing together. It is amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch. So sometimes I always think to myself, not because you're into drill music, I'm not gonna be mad at them because maybe they're going through that phase, you know, like how when I was younger, it was the reggae scene. Now for them, it's the drill. So I kind of don't judge it as much because Stormzy's written songs about what happened down at um, Labrador Grove with that fire, with that building. And that song was so good. It was so good. Even when that girl got unalived on the bus, he was there singing. So I know there is some drill artists who is really for the community and they're really about whatever. That's why I'm trying not to put everybody in the same stock. But there is YouTubes where I seen where like minutes before they've been unalived and all this, and I'm just like, bruh. And they're just regular boys that's probably going to the shop, doing whatever. There was one time I seen a boy where he went to the shop and the security guard punched him and he dropped to the ground. He wasn't even doing nothing. He didn't do nothing. He just went into the shop and the security guard punched him. And I think respect did go down there. And I was like, damn, that could be anybody's son, you know what I mean? That could be my son going to the shop and that happens to him, and he wasn't even doing nothing. The boy was just going to go buy whatever. He had his little headphones in his head, and he was going about his business. So not because some boys dress a certain way, it doesn't mean to say they're all bad boys. They're all bad boys, but because the balaclava thing and the clothes have significance, it's linked to street life. So some of the boys, what they do, they go alternative dress, they change up in some form of fashion. They try not to look as street because they know that the police is going to stop them. The police is going to stop them here, or they get linked to gangs with, and they're not even part of it. So yeah, I would have to say something to so-called tough guys who chop a teenage boy. Like, pick on a man, not a child. Yeah, yeah. That video was going around for a while. That was going around for a while. I remember it was last year. The boy, because and there's so much ridiculousness, or like you'll go to a shop, or I think there's this new phenomenon of them going into shops. I don't know whether they're doing it because it's TikTok or whatever the heck they're doing. And they will go and they will thief from the shop, blame the thief from the shop. So when that person thief from the shop now, you come in after that person that stole from the shop. The shopkeeper's giving you problem because that person walked into the shop and stole from the shop. Or a bunch of boys will come in and they'll be all rowdy, and then everybody's tarnished with the same brush, because that happened to me before when I had my locks, where like a Rasta man was in the shop, and he was, I don't know if he was stealing from the shop or whatever, and then when he left, I come in and they start look on me now, and I was thinking I'm just gonna buy stuff, I'm not here to steal or nothing. But that's what happens. That's what happens. You see what I mean? You know, does not matter whose child it is, a man has no right to harm another man's child. He can tell his parents, hands off. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to highlight that. Yeah, exactly. That was going around for a while. That was going around for a while because there's been instances where stop and search has gotten completely crazy, where some boys will get stopped. Like, there'll be like three of them, four of them. Mind you, sometimes maybe there is some kind of criminal element or something going on. But most of the time, some boys is getting stopped for nothing. They're just getting stopped and search on the regular. That's when Trident used to be around. They used to stop and search them. And some of the boys weren't even doing nothing. Some boys, because they have to go through different postcodes or different areas, right? They have to walk with weapons and different things. There used to be this era around it one time. I don't know if it's still around now, where like they go to certain places. Like if they leave like south or they go west, the boys would see them and they would rush them. The boys, it's like never safe. They're never safe. Like there's always something about to kick off. You never know when something's about to kick off. You could be anywhere. You'll see a whole bunch of boys come from nowhere. It's one of those things, I'm guessing. I'm just thinking, there's people trying to work with these children. That's why I put up Chia, who works with the children, where she explains what's going on with the boys and the girls as well. There's a lot of proving to my peers going on. There's a lot of, I've got to prove this to my peers, I've got to prove that to my peers. I mean, even adults, we do it as well. We like to prove a lot of things to our peers. We like to show our ass. We like to peacock. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with the peers. There's a lot of things. I mean, the girls is a whole nother conversation. But with the boys, it's just another something else. There's a whole something going on. I don't know whether it goes on in America, but I know over here it's very visible. You can see it. And there's a lot, there's little bit of rumblance or something, but I'm just hoping it does not get to them levels. If there is no crime going down, then there is no reason for a frisk young boys down. What help make them not like the yeah, yeah, they used to do that a lot. They used to like I'll be walking somewhere and I see a young boy get stop and search. When you stand up there, the police will tell you that how right you're not your construction, you're stopping them from doing their job, this, that, and the other. It used to be very crazy. At one time, it was very often. Like in the summer, you'll mostly see it more as well. Um, there's an irony behind all this where they profile the IC3. That's what they call them, the IC3. Um, Recently there's been other stuff going on, but like I said, like what you saw on that small video is just a small inkling of what goes on in London. People think that how London's all crumpets and tea and whatever. There's certain places where like the 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 boys are targeted as well. There is also a Instagram. I don't know whether you've seen it where they did a social experiment of a white guy walking through and he's blind and everybody's helping him, and then a black guy comes in blind and he gets knocked over. And I feel that's all to do with stereotypes, profiling, whatever you want to call it. People say I'm wrong. It's just sad state of affairs, basically. But yeah, but like I said, native over here for years, there's been a lot of different stop and search situations, a lot of stop and search, a lot of whatever. Sometimes the children ain't even doing that. Like I said, sometimes they be just dancing. You know when they do their little dance thing, like how they do on Instagram, TikTok. They'll be just dancing. Like they meet up together and they play the little music and they just be dancing. And even that sometimes gets shut down. They're not even doing nothing at this time. They're just being children. Um, I don't know. If I was to work with children, I think it's like you just want to protect them at the end of the day. Even when you're walking down the street, me and our mum was walking down the street one time and there was a whole bunch of children and they rushed this one little girl, one little small girl. Um, it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I mean, right now it's nice and calm, right at this present moment. But there's some things that you don't hear of, or you probably don't see. Then you hear about it later on, or whatever. Yeah, teenager mind is always jumping from one thing to another, and that is where the mum kicks. She keeps their head straight. It's the mum who helps create that spirit. Just my thinking, yeah, it is. But when the two parents work together, it's even better because they're more balanced. And that's the same with the girls. When the father's there and present, even if the mum has moved on, it makes a difference. It makes such a difference. The girl's head is so much more balanced as well. Yeah, the father part is the protector. He shows things to keep the family alive. Yeah, exactly. And it's sad, like families are so fragmented for all different reasons. Like I said, because of domestic violence, because of whatever, you don't know what's the reasoning behind certain things. That's why, like, you cannot say, "Oh, co-parenting." Da, 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 da. We are not in that situation. Sometimes we only hear about the situation of what happens when the woman or man, because women can be that way too, is unalive. That's when we hear about it. Sometimes the child has a two-parent household and they still go out and they still do crime and they still want to be with their peers and they still want to be part of what's going on because they don't want to be not part of their, I don't know what's the word. They don't want, right, they just want to be part of what's going on. So A pair, even if they have a functioning family, they still break out because that's what most of them do. So, you know, but hopefully I will do another one on the girls, hopefully, because the girls one is quite deep. Um, you know, I feel it's good when the father's around, unless he's not a certain way. If the father's around, it's even a blessing. If the dad's around, it's a blessing. If the whole family's around, even better. If the aunt and uncle's around or aunties, better. So that's one of the reasons why, like, even parents like Jazzy, where she's feminizing her son, but now he had to go to a different household. It's crazy. You can easily emasculate your son. You don't even know you're doing it, right? It's easy to emasculate, but you can't make them men. Though some women can grow strong men, right? Strong-minded, strong-willed men, balanced men. But then it all depends on the mother as well, because like she can also hurt that boy too. Yeah, evil vibe does not look family values. You can feel it all around. Just keep your head up in the dark and stay your job. Your parent, protect your children and avoid the bad vibes. Yeah. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna come off. I think I've said a lot, but please tell me what you think those in the comment as well. Like, if you have seen Champions, please tell me what you think. I did put in the articles on here too, right? But you can skip and you can come straight and listen. But yeah, but thank you, Native Michigan. And who's this person? Can't stop the cap, Jay. Even though he was here briefly. But thanks for your input. Thanks for your inputs. Thanks for your input. Because, like I said, it's always good to have the male and the female understanding. It makes it more balanced, right? And even though we come from all different walks of life, we all have different experience, but we all had a father and a mother at one time. We've been them children who had to be the ones who have to be pleasing for our parent, for the father and the mother. It happens, right? Some of us have had balance and had father and mother. Some of us haven't. Some of us will probably never talk about it on these platforms because you know how people are weird and funny, but you can see it almost on here, the dysfunction of certain stuff. There's certain dysfunctions that's on here. That's why my Jazzy life is very much highlighted. I know you look get tired of her. She really comes from a very dysfunctional family, and she's making her family, her children, dysfunctional too. So it's a cycle continuous, right? There's another lady I've highlighted on here, Nika. I mean, I don't talk about her, but others talk about her. There's Liv, there's Chrissy. There's a whole lot. In the mummy sector, there's a whole lot of them, right? But on the flip side, there's parents who's there for their children. There's parents who's there when the children's graze, when they go doctors, when they do certain stuff, when they have special needs problems. Right, there's parents who's there. So, like I said, even when we're having boys, sons, nephews, you know how it goes. It's a hard world out there. It's very hard. This world is very crazy. This century time is more crazier than all the other times on so many levels, right? It's so crazy on so many levels. um I don't want to start saying I'm on a speech mode right now, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. um there's a whole set of stuff going on. Even when I go through timelines on here, I'm just like, wow, damn, you know. That's why um I'm very, I don't know, maybe I'm a bit strict, a bit stiff on my content, but that's how it is right at this present moment. Easy to help boys find their warrior path, take them camping, fishing, do most of the work. Would not be crazy. People would use old forgotten words. Oh yeah, that part too. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. These little devices is used for certain stuff. You can learn an awful lot about a lot of things, I feel. I'm just hoping that how people could come to a middle ground. But then sometime even when you try to come to a middle ground, you get the odd one. But for the sake of the children, it's a whole different thing, you know what I'm saying? Boys and girls, particularly the new generation, the next generation coming up now, they have a lot to deal with. I'll probably say a lot more than what we dealt with when we was coming up. They try to change it. They try to change the cycle. I know two young men who's had children, and they're right there with the babies, with the mums. You see them walking with the mothers of their children. They probably saying to themselves, "I don't want to be like my dad. I'm just going to take care of my child." That's what I see. It's sad, but I'll say, hopefully at the end of the tunnel, everybody. I'm not gonna say sing kumbaya, but at the same time, I mean, it's good to observe lots of things. One teacher used to call it people watching, people science. People science is really interesting to watch. You can learn a lot and you can listen to a lot from watching people. People, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I ain't gonna say like, oh, whatever, whatever. I'm not gonna go into no speech mode, but yes. Anyways, I'm not gonna go waffle on. Treat others how we wish to be treated, respect. Yes, that part. It's not hard. It's not hard. Not everybody's out to get your ass. Right? Everybody's all for the same fundamental reasons. But do people want to be on that? Some people just want to be extra oververt. And I talk about that one who came into the comment the other day when I put a grand rising. Normally, when I say hi to my subs, I don't get all that BS. I don't get all that BS. I don't understand. Christoph, I don't understand. You need to make me understand. What was the reasonings with the talk about the griff? It said grand rising. You just say hi and go about your business. Like I said, here it's not about negativity. This is about spreading awareness and stuff to do what's going on. Right? So because I talk about the odd jazzy thing, it doesn't mean to say that how my principles or morals don't still stand the same. So um you know, he needs people needs to understand. Like I said, we all come from all different walks of life. Okay. I'm not saying I'm perfect. No, I'm not perfect. But at the same time, if you really watch and you really learn from certain stuff, you see a lot of stuff. Right? And here is one. Never let people who think bad vibes deal or chat to others around the world. Let the trade deals be made with spiritual people who do not think of profit out of the air. And that part. So, with that said, I'm going to come off. Okay, I've been on here a whole hour, waffling away. Okay, so thank you for coming through. Let me find Can't Stop Jay and Native Michigander. And I'm going to leave it right there because, you know, yeah, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it right there. I think I already explained why my name is Yemi, but if you was around before when I explained, then you would know why the name is what it is. Okay, but I am a Caribbean woman. I've always made it clear. I'm a Caribbean woman, right? Right. If you look, I talk about Trinidad a lot. I talk about a lot of West Indian stuff a lot, right? But I also have other things that I'm part of. And that's what makes me a whole person in one, right? Like I said, I'm not perfect, right? I try not to be, right? There's no such thing as perfect. They're striving to be perfect, right? Right? When you strive to be perfect, you're in work in progress all the time. It's never ending all the time. Even as I'm getting older, I'm always work in progress. And because the name says Ocean Yemi, there's a lot why the channel is called Ocean Yemi. Doesn't mean to say that how it's a bad thing neither. Because if you know about Ocean, you would know why I talk about children a lot, particularly on the other channel. I go to another side of things because I have to, because I can't bring everything here. Because some things cannot be talked about. So, um, and I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying in general, right? Because like it's quite easy to have a go at people on YouTube and whatever else. I just want to do my content. I'm one of those people. I just want to deal with what I deal with. As you can see, I talk about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of traumatic stuff. There's a lot of people going through stuff. There's a lot of people who's doing stuff. Like I said, my jazzy life is one of them. I put up a whole heap of stuff. Sometimes I put up black excellence, whether people turn themselves black, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that was done in the past that some people don't know about. And sometimes, right, you have to show them certain stuff, right? And not everybody is there to chuck you in your eye or do certain stuff to you. When I turn up in chats, I turn up to support first and foremost, even if like it's not the same as what I'm dealing with because I'm already into sectors. So I just don't talk about nature boy people as much as I used to because I was looking back and I saw that I used to talk about him a lot, but because he's in jail, there's like unless they do something that makes me want to talk about them, I will. But apart from that, there's other stuff that I can be putting my head on because there is a lot going on, right? So it's life at the end of the day. Life is a cycle. It's 300, like the world is 60 degrees, the circumference, and the sun goes around it every single day and rises every single day. And some people pass away every single day. As soon as one pass away, a little child replaced it. That's why I talk about there's a next generation of people coming, and there's all sorts going on. So, like I said, it is what it is. Like, that's why I always say if you're gonna come in the comments, be respectful. If you're coming in the comment section, be respectful, whether it's here or the dark side, because some things is too sensitive to even touch on. Right. So that's why because I used to do reviews before, that's why I decided to do a review today. Instead of talking on other issues, I do talk about current issues. Yes, I do sometimes, but not all the time, because if I pull up a panel every single time I see something, then it comes to a talk shop. We don't turn it to nothing else. Sometimes just to do the content, get it out. Then people can comment and we can have our little back and forwards. I like it like that. I like it so sometimes too. All right. If I feel that I need opinions from the men or the subs, the men subs, the women subs, then I'll come and I'll say whatever. I don't necessarily have to put ladies only and men only. I will say it. So, yeah, that's how I'm leaving it right now. Okay. So, like I said, you come at me respectfully. I don't stroke nobody in my eye. I've been on here a long time on YouTube. And it's always the other way around. I don't come at nobody at all. at all. Okay, so I just do my content, and then I say and I listen, and I read all my comments, and I give everybody their little respect, and that's it. Okay, anything else after that is what do you call it? Is vinegar to me. I mean, it's vinegar. Oh man, I said great. That means in old now. Ooh, LOL. Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, isn't it? Well, anyways, I'm not gonna go on and on and on. I'm gonna come off. I'll see you later. Thank you, Mr. Native and Mr. Can't Stop J. And I'll see you on the other side later. Bye.